I'm Kurt Shimmers. Every day, fortunes are gained and lost in the financial markets. News, trends, and even geopolitical events shape your financial landscape. Join me and my expert guests right now on Traders Nation. You are tuned in to Traders Nation. Thanks for making us a part of your day. Don and I have got a fantastic show. In fact, it's packed. Adam Mesh is our guest here today. He's CEO and founder of Adam Mesh Trading Group. He's going to be with us. We're going to be talking about the weeks of volatile sell-offs that have been going on and huge market swings. Where have all the big dip buyers gone? They're not there. They're not buying on the dips. We're going to find out where they're at. Plus, Don and I keep retailers on our list, retailers and payment processors. You're not going to want to miss that. There's some action going on out there, and some of these payment processors are benefiting nicely from it. So we got guests, we got stocks, we got a whole lot more. Stay tuned right here.
Traders Nation, if you promise not to tune out, we promise not to talk about you while you're gone. Traders Nation. Traders Nation. Get Pro Online DVD Trader today. Whether you're an experienced trader or just beginning, you'll improve your skills dramatically. Click on the Knowledge Center button to order your copy today. Traders Nation, delivering what you want when you want it. Traders Nation. Traders Nation. Live.
It's on the whole time.
Bringing traders coverage of the markets, solid trading strategies, potential hot stock movers, world-class guests, informative callers, and unsurpassed market chatter for traders to take all the way to the bank.
You guys got some great stuff coming out. I mean, the great station.
Stay on top.
This is always changing. It's always fresh. Something new.
Stay tuned in. Traders Nation.
There's always something to look forward to.
Clearly, you can hear the difference. Traders Nation. It's the Traders Nation Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Forbes. You're watching Traders Nation.
Welcome back. You are tuned in to Traders Nation. You can check out that interview with Steve Forbes plus everybody else in the world over at tradersnation.com or our YouTube channel, Traders Nation. Right, Don?
That's it.
Oh, man, we got tons. We got how many interviews? Probably thousands of interviews over, 18-year period. A lot of them you can catch over there. Hey, Don, what's going on out there with the payment processors? Certainly, retail, we're going to get into that, but payment processors, big moves going on here today in the payment processing area, Don.
Well, we have a mega deal, a $22 billion all stock deal.
Yeah.
Fiserv is going to, and they've made their move. Fiserv will take over First Data.
Yeah.
Fiserv is a company that's been around for about 50 years.
Okay.
And based out in Wisconsin, and First Data, headquartered down in Atlanta, has been around for about 40 years.
Yeah.
And they're going to get together. And the initial take on it is that it'll make it a little bit tougher for some of the other players,
sure,
smaller in the business. But
yeah.
And then of course the one that we've been watching here for a while is Square, SQ.
Yeah.
And stock is back up to around $70 right now. It's getting some strength today. Probably because, and I'm almost certain that they're going to take a look and say, well, maybe Square is next.
Sure, and you know that this speculation goes rampant, goes wild and crazy when it comes to some of these smaller companies. They're like, hey, there's people out there actually doing consolidations, acquisitions, all this stuff going on. So yeah, traders and investors alike maybe thinking that, maybe pushing some of this. Square, let's talk about that here today. SQ is the ticker symbol for Square, currently trading at $68.82. Nice big green candle on that bad boy here today. 9.1 million shares exchanged in hands on the stock. Good volume, okay. Up $3 since we spoke about it last. Private, like you said, Don, tied into all kinds of sorts of speculation going on out there in regards to potential acquisitions. They would like to think so, wouldn't they, Don? But nonetheless, Square here today, yeah.
Yeah. Now, interestingly enough, the gold standard, we have it on our list to cover here today.
Yeah.
The gold standard digital wallet is PayPal.
Yeah.
Now, the stock is up a nickel today, but it's back pushing up near its 52-week high.
Yeah.
All these stocks have been trimmed back, and that's probably what has made some of these companies attractive acquisition targets.
Sure.
As many companies have a lot of cash on hand.
Yeah.
It's either let's buy something or buy our stock back. So in this case, you've got Fiserv This
Sure.
is an all-stock. This is an all-stock deal, by the way.
Yeah.
The Fiserv first dated deal, $22 billion, and then, of course, once again to repeat, Square, PayPal, and then we can move on and talk about some of the lower price companies.
We can do that, but Don, I want to touch on something here real quick, so it's really important for these folks to know. So, and you made a point here, is that when there's a lot of volatility and there's a lot of selling going off, I mean, you got companies like Fiserv, they just don't sit around one day and say, hey, let's acquire this company. This is a process. They look at these companies for a long period of time, and then they're nimble enough, Don, so when the stock price is right, they can get it at a premium and then pounce on it, right?
Yeah. Initially, I thought it would have a little bit of pressure on the Square stock.
Yeah.
Then when I thought about it, and the stock has been beaten up here over the past couple of months. It's pushing back up here at $69, putting in a nice day.
Yeah.
And so we've got to keep an eye on some of these companies. There's a few others floating around that might be in some of these larger companies' sites. You know, you don't see MasterCharge or Visa, whom we've got on our list today. You don't see them making very many large acquisitions, but they could be huddled today, taking a look and saying, okay, what can we do in this space to bulk up a little bit?
Right. Where's our weakness? Where's our weakness in the market? And can we acquire to fortify that weakness and bring it up to a strength of a company?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
PayPal, PYPL, as Don currently said, trading at $90.34 here today. 3.2 million shares exchanging hands. Up only 5 cents so far here today, but up $1 since we spoke about it last. Handsome looking chart on this, trading above its. If you look at this channel on this stock, it's beautiful. It's handsome. Trades in this channel. Well, now it's trading above its old resistance, which becomes, theoretically, its new support level. All right, PayPal, PYPL, keep it on your watch list, Don.
Well, the merchant solution business is one of the places to be.
Yeah.
And since we've re-kicked off here on Traders Nation, we've been following these payer companies. And for the folks out there that hold some of these issues, these stocks can go a long way. So it's one sector of the markets that we want to keep an eye on. And some of these stocks, while beaten up, are not all down that much off their 52-week highs.
Okay. All right, so there you have it. So we got Square. Okay, these are kind of the newcomers. Square, PayPal. Don, you mentioned a couple other smaller ones. I think we have a Brazilian payer out there. Yeah,
well, we've got that's PAGS. It's called Pago Segura Digital Limited. That's a Brazilian company.
Sure.
PAGS is the symbol, trading around $22 in here.
Yeah.
And then the other small one that came public last year is a company called Stone. STNE is the symbol on that. It's down a nickel today.
Yeah.
Trading around $20.
Yeah.
That's a couple you want to keep an eye on because obviously they're much smaller and international companies. And of course, so, to repeat myself, one of these large players may come along and say, well, let's just scoop these guys up.
And sometimes it's easier to scoop them up than to compete with them, Don. I mean, it really is.
That is correct.
Sometimes they scoop them up and shelve them. They don't even use them. Just get them out of the way.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, so let's go on to the big bad boys, okay? The ones that have been legacy, have been with us forever, MasterCard and Visa. MasterCard, MA is the ticker symbol for that one. $198.87 currently right now, 663,000 shares exchanging hands done. Nice reversal off that's $172 back at Christmas time. Trading right here at 198.47, Don.
Yeah. Well, MasterCard, one of the leaders in the business, along with Visa. And once again, these companies may be poised to make some acquisitions themselves. Although, as I think about it, it might be a little doubtful for these guys. But look, you never know because these companies have plenty of cash, and some stocks have really been beaten up a little bit. And that's why we see some of these mergers and acquisitions going on. Okay. So this is a sector that you want to keep a heads up on and watch it very closely.
All right. So, Don, let's go into, do you want to talk about Visa real quick, or you want to go on to retail? We can do either or.
Well, Visa's, what to say, the chart is decent on Visa.
Yeah.
And it's down a quarter today, and it's just kind of treading water here today at $137.
Yep, so there you have it. So Visa, keep it on your watch list. MasterCard, MA, Keep it on your watch list. PayPal, PYPL. Also, and Square, SQ, is the ticker symbol for all of our payment processors. Plus PAGS, you got PAGS, PAGS, okay, and Stone. All right. So, Don, let's move on to some of the retail stocks here today. They
retail.
They go hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
A couple things going on. So I wanted to start off with Sears Holdings, okay? I know. It's low price. It really is. It's taking a beating. It's like on its way out. But it's trading tremendously up here today, probably on the news of recent days. Currently trading at 75 cents here today, 3.4 million shares exchanging hands. This is basically a realty play anymore, right, Don?
Yeah. Well, Eddie Lambert, the chair, who runs his, I think it's ESL, that's his hedge fund. This is the big money that has been involved with Sears now, I would say, for easily a dozen years.
Yeah.
And this has really turned into a real estate play now. Kind of sad to see a icon in retailing like Sears that's been around for over 100 years just go on a nonstop downhill.
Yeah.
And of course, in recent years, closing of the stores.
Sure.
And now Lamford has put up $5.5 billion. He'll control it out of the bankruptcy court.
Right. So on the other side, we're going to talk about Amazon, Walmart. Sadly, Sears is going the way of Montgomery Ward's. JCPenney's on its way out, too. And there's just no fighting it. Now it's a matter of what can we do with what's left. Coming up next, Adam Mesh. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Traders Nation salutes America. Stay strong, stay proud, and stay in the green with us. Traders Nation live, bold, and packed for profit every weekday morning. Traders Nation live, bold, and packed for profit. Sign up today for our weekly HTML newsletter and check out the Traders Nation store for products to enhance your stock trading day. Traders Nation, what you want, when you want it. Traders Nation.
Hey, Jeff Carlisa here from 38 Special, and we're rocking it up right here with Traders Nation.
Welcome back. You are tuned in to Traders Nation. My pleasure to have back with us once again Adam Mesh. He's CEO and founder of Adam Mesh Trading Group. Adam, welcome back to Traders Nation. How are you today?
Good, and happy to be here. How are you?
Good, good. Happy New Year to you, by the way. Hey,
thanks.
You betcha. Hey, after weeks of volatile sell-off, huge market swings, God knows we've seen them. Where's all the dip buyers? Where are they gone to? Are they just kind of staying on the sideline for right now, or what?
You know, I was just looking for trade ideas, and the biggest inhibitor right now is everything has earnings coming out. Other than the banks with J.P. Morgan and Wells Fargo and Goldman already came out, anything you look at is about to have earnings announcement. Now, there's not been a positive sentiment leading into earnings, so as we prepare for it, I think it makes sense at this point to look for the opportunity to buy a sell-off into earnings, although like Goldman, they expected bad earnings, and stock ended up big on the day. So earnings season is upon us.
So that's a great point. So since earnings season is here, certainly we could see another step down, which offers us even a better buying opportunity, right, Adam?
Exactly. And I think that's what people are thinking, is that the numbers will be bad. And why hold into that bad announcement? But I think because so many people are on the sidelines, we might end up chasing these stocks anyhow, because if it's already expected, it could end up surprising us and shoot higher, like Goldman Sachs already showed us.
Right. So when it comes to, we're talking about earnings, what sectors? I mean, I know retail, there's some bad reports coming out. The retailers weren't as happy as they would like to be. I don't know if they ever are. Payment processors are doing phenomenal, because the payment processors are moving money around no matter where people are buying, whether it's Amazon or a box store, which nobody's in. So there's some particular sectors that may see bad earnings reports and maybe some others that may see good ones? Your thoughts?
Well, you're absolutely right about payment processors. PayPal has been my favorite stock it was my favorite stock of 2018, and it remains so strong and was so resilient even in the face of that down market in December. So you nailed that straight on. I love PayPal. Now, a great example would be Apple. The stock sold off, I think it was like 14 points on the news that they were going to guide down. And now they're announcing earnings January 29th, So we want to see, is it worse than the warning they already gave? Is
Right.
it better than expected?
Yeah.
And that's hard to predict, and you got to listen to what they say.
Right.
We got to, even me, who's a technical trader, needs to be a little bit careful and say, okay, what is Tim Cook going to say next?
Right.
And that goes along for a lot of different companies. Not to mention, we have the uncertainties of an ongoing trade war and the fallout from it.
Right.
They just had a vote of confidence on Theresa May regarding the Brexit deal. That whole thing's a mess.
Right.
I just read that the guy who's famous for The Big Short came out and said to short all English banks because nobody knows what to do with Brexit.
Right.
I was just reading an article about that.
Right.
And then we still have the government shutdown, and I saw a stat yesterday that, as an example, Delta Airlines will lose $25 million a month on the shutdown. Now, it's a multi-billion-dollar company.
Right.
But let me give you one more example.
Yeah.
Let's go to the biotech. I was looking at a biotech. The stock traded down 20%. Here's the news. The FDA, they anticipated, because all biotechs, especially the smaller ones, they live and breathe on their FDA announcement.
They do.
They had an FDA announcement scheduled. It got postponed a month because the government shut down.
Oh.
Now, think about that. They lost 20% of their value just because the government's not going to meet and give them approval. How many other FDA approvals are getting pushed back?
Right.
How much less? This government shutdown is really bad for everyone, and it's just like, it's not just the main companies. You could be a beer company who created this amazing new flavor,
right? And
you can't get FDA approval,
right?
So everything's on hold. So
that's interesting, because geopolitical events really affect the markets. And years and years ago, as Traders Nation, we were kind of like a hybrid where we covered politics with the markets, because there really is a tie-in to the two. Politics do direct the market in certain ways, and certainly we're seeing that right now, whereas a lot of shows weren't doing that. But it's interesting you say here, because I want to go all the way back to the beginning of Apple, because Apple was one of those stocks where you just don't bet against it. But that's changed now. Is it, as a trader, it's like now you're starting to second guess Apple, and for good reason. Your thoughts?
It's funny how perspective changed, because Apple over 200 looked amazing.
Right.
It didn't look expensive. It looked good.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's in the 150s, and it looks more expensive than it did above 200 because sentiment had changed.
Sure.
But you got to remember, it is Apple.
Yeah.
They have more money than any other company in reserves.
They do.
And they could always maneuver in a lot of different ways. I would not bet against Apple, but it's a little tough for me to bet on it now. I own Apple. I have positions in Apple, but I'm surprised it went down this far. But it's hard to sell it down here.
Yeah.
But I don't want to buy any more.
Right.
It's kind of, but you got to remember, with that much cash on reserves, I don't think they're going to fall the way of like an IBM or a GE, companies that have kind of failed to adapt or run into problems. I think Apple's positioned much better, and they're always one great iPhone away from a major surge on the stock price. But I think, like a lot of things, is in limbo right now.
They really are leaders when it comes to technology, aren't they? And I think they almost create the curve instead of be far behind the curve like some of those other companies you mentioned. So I think that's probably the saving grace for Apple, but it still brings poise, doesn't it, for traders, for Apple during these times. And it's like you said, I don't have Apple, but like you said, I have Apple, but I'm not looking to add to it any time until I get some more, clearance on where the company's going to be heading and where their head is at, right? So, all right. I want to talk about recession and coming into 2019. I don't want to, this flattening of the yield curve and stuff like that. I don't want to get into the technical analysis of flattening the yield curves. I don't want to put myself to sleep, anyone else. But, there's concerns about recession, and kind of comes into the economy, which kind of ties into the government. Any concerns on the trader side of potential recession here in 2019? Your thoughts? Are you even thinking about recession in 2019 as a trader?
Well, I think what I'm most worried about right now is all those companies that bought back their stocks and now see their stocks at lower prices. And so, yeah, I think that overall there's a little bit of an anchor on the market with everything going on.
Sure.
And even if we go higher, the question is how much and the upside limited. So it is a concerning factor. I'll tell you, as the Traders Nation, my favorite kind of trade right now, I'm really high on it. I just did it. And I haven't done these a lot because I used to not be a fan.
Yeah.
But one of the most popular option trades for discussion is always an iron condor.
Okay.
And that's essentially when you bet on stocks to do not much.
Right.
That 65% of the time they're in consolidation.
Yeah.
So this trade's no good right now because Starbucks has earnings coming out, but we just did a trade in Starbucks where we put it on for like 3 weeks.
Right.
And we sold the 60. It was trading around 64. We sold the 65 put, bought the 60 put, sold the 65 call, and bought the 70 call.
Right.
So we collected $2.87 in credit.
Nice.
And all we needed Starbucks to do was stay within
a range.
$2 to $3 of that 65 level.
Yeah. Awesome.
And
awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So we're out of time, unfortunately. Adam, where can we find you at? What's your website?
AdamMesh.com. Thank you. Yeah, we have a lot of good stuff going on.
All right.
And thanks for being on here.
Always a pleasure. AdamMesh.com, right? AdamMeshTrading.com or AdamMesh?
AdamMesh.com.
AdamMesh.com. Head on over there today. Adam, thanks for being with us. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
You bet. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Traders Nation. I want to mention real quickly, Don, Pro Online Trader DVD. Get a copy today at TradersNation.com. Click on that More button, and we'll get this out to you for $29.95 plus shipping and handling. Cost you $100, $200 elsewhere. TradersNation.com. You can get it for $29.95 plus shipping and handling. We'll get it to you. Hey, Don, I want to talk about, we left off at retail. We were talking about Sears Holdings, okay, real estate play, JCPenney going by the wayside, Montgomery Ward's going by the wayside, but others that are not, that are probably the reason why these other ones are going bye-bye is Amazon and Walmart doing phenomenal.
Well,
yeah,
Amazon $1685. Actually, not doing much today. It's up $1.50. But
sure.
Amazon and Walmart's there slugging it out with them.
They really are.
And I have to say that if you go over to the Walmart website, the prices are competitive, and they've got it cleaned up. They made an acquisition several years ago. They acquired a company called Jet, so they're going to give it a go.
Yeah.
And they can give Amazon and anybody, for that matter, in the online retail, they can give them a run for their money. And they're just absolutely killing these brick and mortar retailers. The traffic for Christmas was, for many of them, just horrific.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Don, do you own anything we talked about here today?
No.
Yeah, I don't either. And by the way, you should know that these are not buy or sell recommendations. Check out Don on all the social media websites, LinkedIn, Facebook, and also Twitter. You are tuned in to Traders Nation. We'll see you on the next edition.